Wake up, buy here, pay here people. It's a beautiful day. Go grab yourself another cup of joe and say hello to Jim and Michelle Rhoads on the Buy Here, Pay Here Morning Show. Take it away, you two.
Morning, everybody.
Hey, happy
Friday. Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah. I appreciate that it's Friday.
Yeah.
I always enjoy that day. It's been so rainy here, and it looks like it's starting to clear. We might have a great weekend, but there's snow.
Yeah, we got snow on the mountain.
Not where we live, but there's snow, and so all the leaves are starting to change, and it's really, really beautiful. If you've never seen, I know it does not hold a candle to the East Coast, Vermont, the leaves changing, but the leaves changing here are pretty. Nice. And we really, really enjoy them. So if you are in the area and want to see some great leaves, come.
Here's a little fun tip: just do a search for like snow basin webcams, and you can see snow today.
There's
live
webcams. There's a bit. So it's happening. Jim this morning was like, okay, so when are we heading back to Florida?
Yeah, right.
Not sure that we're going to do that. Yeah. So the next question is, when are we buying a snowblower?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So welcome, and let's see. We've got a couple people. Alex.
Reaching out to us. Remember Alex? We met Alex in Arizona. Good morning, and Steve Egg.
And then Steve. Good morning to you too.
Yeah, glad to have you guys here.
Yeah, very much so. Thank you guys for joining us. We are going to talk we got a couple things to talk about today. And the first thing we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about, good morning, Caesar. We're going to talk about Marietta.
Yeah. So we're bringing in our friend, Mr. Thomas.
Hello, Mr. Tommy Brandis.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Great. How are you today?
So doing great. Getting geared up for the big convention.
Yeah, nice. Of course. I got to tell you, Tommy, I think I've shared this with you before, but for whatever reason, in my phone, in my contacts, your contact used to say, Mr. Thomas Brandis. And I don't know.
That was before we,
that tells me that you have connections to Russian hackers or something, that they were able to somehow get into the system and manipulate that in my phone. But, congratulations. That's a cool thing.
Yeah.
No explanation.
So you getting back from the policy conference, and it's like boom, boom, and you're heading into the event this weekend for Marietta.
Yeah, our first convention in over 5 years.
Oh, wow.
And you know us, we don't do anything small here on the East Coast. So it's like, hey, instead of just holding something in a hotel, which would make it nice and easy, no, we'll just blow it up and go full blown Vegas style convention.
Nice.
Right here in Atlantic City. So yeah, it's about to go down.
So that's all good. I got to tell you, our topic for the day is Friday Night Lights, which is really about football. Friday Night Lights is really a tie-in to high school football, but for us, it's a football conversation and the tie-in. And so when I think about your conferences coming up and your new position, as executive director in the Mid-Atlantic region, that's such a cool thing. But it's, the tie-in for football. I mean, you're a big football fan. So for me, having,
go Birds.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm just really kind of make the tie-in with, how does all this relate for you? We've been talking about kind of what it means for us and what we're doing in the industry, and what we see you doing over there and trying to, recreate something. So, I'm just seeing the leadership part of what happens. We know in football that leadership is part of what, creates championships, right? And so I think for you, what I'm seeing is an opportunity for you to embark on something that it won't happen overnight, but there's an opportunity for
But it's like, I have been so impressed with you taking the bull by the horns, and it's just like, let's just get this done.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get this done.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and it's really, I think it's an adage of being on the board and our board for so many years, and then when the opportunity arose, I know you and I have talked. We've talked before about what is my next step on how can I help and how can I give back, and I thought of different ways, and when this popped up, the light bulb came on, and I went, oh my God! I mean, how many thousands of people can we ultimately help by building an association and a convention that not only helps, our association grow, but every dealer that we touch and every vendor that comes in and joins on, it's become it's crazy to say, but it's almost become my purpose. It's like a higher thing than just going and getting a paycheck and doing a job and putting on a convention.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate of how many people can we help by what we can give back, So
one of the things we talked about recently on the morning show, and this has just kind of become a regular theme for us, is like, what I'm hearing from you is you wanted to find a way that you could make a difference. Like, for me, what we talk about, and I know it's going to be true for you, is like you work to try to leave the industry better than you found it.
100%.
And so I think when you think about that, it's like, this is part of the tie-in for football for me. It's like, that's about just making a decision that you want to be better, not just as an individual, but as a team. And so I can extend this to the entire industry. When we talk about, it's just a decision amongst dealers, across the entire industry. It's a decision to say, I want to leave the industry better than I found it. I want to leave my community better than I found it. Right. And so that's where the white hat waste thing starts to come in for us, is like trying to help people understand. And so for me, Tommy, part of the coaching thing is, as a Eagles fan over the years, you've had coaches come in there who had a very successful run. And part of what happens is they make the team believe in the mission, right? And so
that comes, and I think it was tying into football, and it's something that I've talked about before. I think it was Vince Lombardi who, and I think I have a bit of this gift where I can meet ordinary people or we'll use customers, employees, whatever, and help coach them up to be extraordinary, so, and I think Lombardi did that. And that's basically just taking an ordinary team, and going from good to be great, so ordinary to extraordinary. So that's kind of where I kind of look out and I see so many people that are so talented, way more talented than I ever was getting into the biz, so much with so much knowledge and so much, things in front of them where they can learn. And I just want to make sure they see it all.
Yeah.
Well, that's we've talked to you a bit about the region up there and how you've really wanted to be able to see a coalescence and just really people getting on board to supporting education, supporting the state organization, supporting each other.
Right.
And I love what I see that you've done with this conference, which is there's a really beautiful tie-in to being a coach, to being, because a dealer in a way it's their coach of their own team. And so being able to, as a coach, you don't necessarily know all the stuff. And you're not the subject matter expert on all of the things.
On any of it. It's just, it's the vision. It's being, if you're the CEO of your company and you're the weakest link, then you've done a pretty good job about building a team around you. Yeah. And that's where the board, I'm just taking the board's vision, and I was part of the board for 15 years. So I'm just taking the board's vision and what I've learned working with the board. And now I'm instead of us giving it to somebody else, I share the same vision they do. So now I'm in the actual driver's seat to be able to make their ideas, our ideas, go forward and execute and happen.
That's amazing. So, but let me ask you, when you talk about that vision, do they believe in their vision, and do you believe in their vision? Because when you both believe in that, like it's not just, written on a wall, like you really believe it and you're
absolutely. Or I wouldn't have taken the position. Right. It's not about the paycheck. It's about giving back and seeing what we can really accomplish and how many people we can really help.
And
and make it, I don't want to say help, I guess make a difference.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's so there's countless people in 31 years. I sit with people and I go, man, 31 years went by quick, and it did, but it didn't. Man, there's a lot of things involved and a lot of people that helped me along the way.
Yeah.
And now how do I give back? And I can't think of a better position to be in now, to be able to help, to touch and reach more people. And with all the vendors and presenters and people that I've met, you guys included, and the big times and the Primalens and I'm missing people, and the Auto Masters and the Buckeyes. Oh God, the Buckeyes. All these people that have the same vision, I believe that we do, to bring them all together and give them a space on the East Coast in the fall to do it. That's what this ultimate dream is. Yeah, we're gonna walk in. It's probably gonna be more fun. I mean, this is a conversation to get more people there, because I don't know why you wouldn't show up with the talent and the agenda, the things you're gonna learn, and it's $95. I mean, and we got the football game on. There's just so much that we're going to be having on Sunday night and Monday.
Yeah.
One of the things that you mentioned this, it's like, as a dealer yourself, that you had mentors, you had coaches, you had people that were there to help inspire you. And so you could take that onto your team and teach and inspire and grow and help develop your team members. I mean, I've sat back and watched what, how you've kind of got back in the trenches with Gunner and really just taught him, these are the things, this is the stuff. And now you're stepping into, most players or most coaches were players at one time and had their own coaches. And so you're now getting into an opportunity to be a coach on with a different team. And so now your customer is the dealer. Yeah. And it's it's really, really beautiful.
Yeah, just taking it to that next level. I mean, we could talk about, you keep the football thing. Look at what Deion Sanders, look at what Prime is doing with the Bucks. It's ridiculous. It's national news. We're talking college football, and all he is just taking ordinary and coaching it to extraordinary.
Because he's telling them that they are extraordinary.
Well, so we can only guess. We're not inside the locker room, but we can guess what has happened to translate into that kind of performance and success. Of course, it helps to have a son who's ultra talented. But that aside,
I'm not trying to compare myself to Prime, but
there's a similar story in that. I tell you, there's another story. The quick version of the story was when I lived in Florida. You remember when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers wore those goofy tangerine colored outfits? Remember where they're
oh, absolutely,
the old Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then John Gruden showed up somewhere in the early 2000s, I seem to recall. And one of the things I love, Tommy, is, and it really to me, I've carried this since I heard this, and we can carry it into our day-to-day business. He was doing a press conference after he showed up out there, and they'd won their first 3 games after having a terrible season last year, kind of like what Colorado's had, with their college program. And they were interviewing him in their normal presser for the week, and they said, "Hey, well, how do you feel about you're going to Chicago this week, and the kickoff temperature is supposed to be 29 degrees or something?" He said they asked the guy, ask Gruden, no team has ever won, no Buck team have ever won when the kickoff was below 35 degrees. And he paused for a minute and he looked at that report and he said, "That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Why would a football team not be able to win?" And they proceeded to go up there and win at Chicago. And it's the mindset. It just sets.
They also did it to the Eagles. In a playoff game. So it's a mindset, because
it's shedding that stinking thing.
You just opened up a wound, Jim. Thanks.
Well,
I want to kind of tie this back into what it is that you're doing with Mariota. We talk about,
because we could talk football for 4 hours.
Right. So we talk about every dealer they're a coach in their own right, and that it's really important for dealers to be able to grow their team And the best way to grow a team is to learn yourself. I can tell you, I don't think I've met a dealer that knows how to do everything without having had to ask and get help. And it's not something that a dealer comes in and they're just a box and never leave the box with
exactly. And that's why we put together, it's literally a 1-day event. I mean, you could really, and I live 2.5 hours from AC, so I could wake up on Monday morning and drive in and have breakfast,
Yeah.
But it's a 1-day event. It's a one-stop shop for everything a dealer needs to get better, and all the resources to get better. They're not going to show up that day
Right.
and walk out, a rock star, but they're going to have connections. Everybody who's coming is I've said it before, on the Mount Rushmore of trainers, consultants, vendors of our industry. So, we start out with a legislative panel with Sean Peterson and go over what's going on in the legislative area in the Mid-Atlantic area. We roll into a financial and economic panel with a couple of lenders and floor plan companies on how, if you need a floor plan, or if you're thinking about a floor plan or a lender or need money, what you should be looking for and what the lenders are looking for. And then we have an afternoon panel with some major dealers, dealer of the year and things like that. And then the breakout sessions are marketing with McCully and call training with Maggie Pajesic and service training with Gene Daughtry. All these different training things, Ignite, Steve Levine, all these different trainings that are coming up with succession planning. And then on top of it, we're going to bring the people in and discuss 20 groups, and not only discuss 20 groups, but form the charter Mid-Atlantic Regional 20 group, where it's going to be everything about the same 20 groups you're doing with national. It's going to be moderated by a national moderator, except you're not going to have to get on a plane and fly someplace, and you're not going to pay Ritz-Carlton rates, to go learn. So, and that's all for $95 in literally 8 hours on Monday.
Well, Tommy, this is a basketball reference, but what you're asking me, if I'm a dealer, you're asking me to show up for practice. You want me to come to practice? So, it's like Michelle doesn't get the reference, but it's like,
you don't have to practice, but come in, at least pick up the game plans, and then go home, and make a call when you want to. But,
part of the education and development, like it's just business development. Like that's such a great opportunity that you're creating there in Atlantic City, and dealers. It's just, we've seen
and
this
it's so close though to everything in that area.
It's just like the decision for a dealer to participate. It's like, for what keeps us from being there, to what else could we get in a short period of time that's going to, we can download.
Yeah. If you have an excuse why you can't come to this for one reason or another, I don't know how we can make it any easier, for a dealer to get all this in one place.
Yeah. From my perspective, I think in this, again, back to the coaching thing, you just keep showing up. You just keep showing up and delivering, and you keep believing, and you should keep showing up. And then, and that's kind of where Michelle and I are with White Hat Ways. Like, people would look at what we're doing and say, oh, that's a nice idea, but you won't be able to get dealers to, adopt that sort of thing. Well, we're going to keep showing up because we believe it's possible, and people are starting to step in and show that they also believe that it's possible. And so what you're going to see is we're just going to keep, leading that mission. And so, I think it was a Sixers coach, and I'm not a basketball guy, but trust the process. Process. And that's, we're already booked for 2024 at Caesars Atlantic City again. It's already, it's everything but signed. And that's because I haven't shown up to sign it yet.
You'll be there
so we already have it rolling, and me taking this position wasn't an interim gig. It's a long-term position for me. It's the next thing I want to do. I got to get out of Gunner's way. I'm driving him nuts when I'm at the dealership. I think I cost him money now when I show up. He's like, dude, you're in the way.
Go. That makes an awful lot of sense. If you live in the Mid-Atlantic area, it's like I said, the states are. It's just everything's so close. We live out here where there's a big, huge, wide open spaces and lots of, there's 200 miles between the next town, and there you're close, and it's just a day drive to head into Atlantic City and be able to do this. And what a great
it's a day drive from Ohio. It's a 2-hour drive from probably 5,000 dealers, So.
And so if, besides the Mount Rushmore lineup of people, some of the especially the topics, the experts within these topics, you get a really great opportunity to talk to other dealers, to talk to other players that are, what are your challenges? And to be able to coach each other and mentor each other. And
that's the truth. The people who show up at these events are the people who want to be better.
Yeah.
Right.
You're not showing up, and you're not the top of you're not the number one dealer walking in. It's a whole room full of number ones.
Yeah.
And they all want to learn from each other. So there's a couple of smaller dealers that I talked to that I've never been to them. Oh, they're all this and all. I said, no, I got to wear a suit and tie. I said, I will never wear a suit and tie to any of the events. I said, no, you're looking at it wrong. Show up. I said, come, you have a lot of ideas, that you don't think are good ideas until you start talking to other dealers. So it's one of those. It's a misconception that I'm too small or I'm too new to attend one of these. And that's the total. I think that's the biggest thing that I see, especially with the Buy Here, Pay Here success page, is I want to get into Buy Here, Pay Here, and I want to do this, and I'm thinking about this, and I'm like, oh my God, somebody grab that person before he spends grandma's money, So if you're new to the game or you're small, these are the things you gotta come to, because the big guys got big by coming to these when they were small.
Yeah.
No, it's all good. And I just think, for you and your situation there, and it relates to what we're doing, and you just keep showing up, you keep providing value, and that'll build. This first year, I would say, you're obviously working really hard to get a lot of people there and have a successful event. I'm sure you will. And then you just recognize that, it's a first go round.
Everything hits momentum.
You just got to keep showing up. Just keep showing up and keep building, and it'll happen. But
that's what we said. You kind of joke behind the scenes. When people who put on conventions, they'll understand. But it's like, oh, what about this? What about this? What if this doesn't go off right? The baby's coming, kids. It's just it's going to be here, and it's going to be great. So let's just enjoy the event. And not, let the critique aside. Let's enjoy the event, and everybody have a good time, and make sure it's something that will really gain traction and grow for years to come.
So you're doing something fun on Monday night. You want to tell our
Monday Night Football tailgate.
Yeah, that's fun. That's
so
a fun
if you've
thing.
never
It's actually the Eagles and Bucks that you bring the Bucks up. So
how about that?
Yeah, so there's some side wagers going on. We have a 40-foot TV screen in the exhibit hall.
Yeah.
With the vendors, and all the vendors are coming dressed in their football garb.
Yeah.
And I'll have my Super Bowl Nick Foles jersey on.
Yeah.
So, it'll be a good time. It'll be a good time. Cheesesteak rolls and soft pretzels and beer and all the good stuff.
That's amazing. I would just say, as a coach, I urge you to invite me invite you to join me in just shifting a mindset. It's like let's just set a new mindset, and let's recognize we can do more, we can be better. That's what this
first step to be.
That's what the white hat way is, man. It was. Yeah. We had this white hat philosophy before the white hat philosophy was thought up. So that's
before it got a name.
It was,
I'm all in.
Yeah. Well, and kind of tying back to the Friday Night Lights, the coach is the best way for a coach to be able to coach their team is to know the game.
Right.
and to get as much education as they can about the game. And a conference is a really great way to do that. There's a lot of other, there's 20 groups. There's a lot of online education, the Institute. There's also the boardroom. There's a lot of really great ways for you to learn. And a good coach knows that they don't know everything, that they are going to pull the best people together. We were sitting down with our CEO last Friday, and I don't know if you I'm going to try to bring military and football together.
Okay.
He's a 3-star general, and he was over half of the military in the entire world for the he was in the Atlantic or the Pacific. And, one of the things that he told us is he's like, I'm not the smartest man in the room, but I know how to bring the smartest people together.
Yeah.
And I know that, I can help to pull things together, and he learns an awful lot in the process. And then he can go and have that relayed to the rest of his team or to the people that he's serving. And it's, military coach, it's all kind of,
that's what I've always, I've said it, I'm a C's gets degrees guy. I'm not the smartest guy, but I'm a good listener.
Yeah.
And I know how to bring a team, and I enjoy taking. I was ordinary, and I'm not saying I'm extraordinary today, but there's people can coach up. People have no idea what their ultimate end could be. They just kind of settle, and there's people that need to be brought in. There's people that are out there that got to coach them up.
Don't think you're the smartest person in the room. And so part of that being a good coach is to know that there's things that you can learn, there's things that you can pull together, and conferences are a great opportunity as your own coach of your dealership. It's a great opportunity for you to be surrounded by people that are the experts and other coaches out there.
And
what are the things that worked with you?
Part of driving a team and building culture, whether we're talking about Coach Prime or Gruden or any of the people that have had that kind of success, military general, what we heard from Jerry is that, you learn to extract from the people that are there. But think about what that means culture-wise, Tommy. If you and I were there as officers and here Jerry is our commander, and he's extracting from us, the strategy. He's learning from us what's the best way forward. So he's not sitting there dictating everything, and as a leader, he's not commanding. So he's extracting from the team, the way to be successful. And so I just think that creates a lot of culture, and I just think we try to bring that to everything that we do. And when we work with dealers, we're recognizing what can happen to culture and team and just day-to-day execution when we can, as dealers, we have to be coachable ourselves, and so
100%. Yeah.
And so that's just part of recognizing that we don't have all the answers. We got to go to conferences and we got to find the stuff. And
I liked what you're talking about too, because it's going to the conferences, but it's also your team may have things that can teach you something.
Yeah, I have a quote back from 1996, and I know it's from 1996 because it was put in an article. And my quote is, once you think you know everything, you're on the road to failure.
I've seen that on your wall.
Yeah, it's on my wall. I kind of use that all the time. So once you think you know it all, you're done.
I love it. Yeah, that's really a good place to end, I think. So yeah, Tommy, we wish you tons of success out there. We want
Thank you. I appreciate you guys having on. I appreciate you guys, and what you're doing for the industry, and we get it. We understand. So just
we're going to keep doing it at least 3 days a week.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and kind of tied just the white hat way, that one of the things that we're trying to do with our team, which is all the dealers and the vendors, and as we believe that this industry can be better to their customers and be very successful.
Yeah.
We believe
it's so easy. It shouldn't even be a discussion.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's our charge. Thank you for joining us in that.
Yeah.
Really, really appreciate it.
I love it. Yeah. I'm glad to be a part of it.
All right.
So
Well,
we're gonna let
have a great stick around for just a second. We'll after we get everything closed off so we can say proper goodbye.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
step
good
out.
luck this weekend.
Yeah, we know you got a baby to deliver. So.
Off to the maternity ward.
Thanks, Tommy. All right. Well,
So good.
yeah. So, tying in what's happening in Marietta, what it is that we're talking about with Friday Night Lights, it's as a coach, as your own coach of your own team, learn as much as you can, and realize that you're not the smartest person in the room at a conference and also in the room with your team. And so there's being a good leader is about getting in the trenches with them and about knowing that they're going to have some great ideas and they're going to have some things that you might not have thought about, and that one of the best ways to get buy-in with a team is to include the team in the strategy, in how you want to do it. That's the difference between a boss and a leader. A boss sits behind everybody and dictates. A leader's out there. It's like, how can we as a team do this?
And you use the word buy-in, which I hear a lot. I bet you can't find a championship coach who hasn't used the phrase buy-in at some point in the season, because it's part of what they're looking for. You need a team to buy into what you're doing, and in order to execute, at a grand level, at a championship level. So this is part of what we are excited to talk about. And so look for this to maybe come back around. Monday.
So if you're in the area, head out and get a great education at Marietta, and take whatever it is that you learn back to your dealership, and it's like, talk to your team.
Don't forget, we got the LHPH Summit coming up October 12th through 14th. So for those who haven't, gotten in on that one, you may want to be with us in San Diego.
Yeah. Have a great weekend, everybody. It's fall is in the air. It's happening. I know you people down in Southern Texas don't believe that.
Yeah.
But it's coming. Yeah. I promise.
Yeah.
All right. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. Talk to you on Monday.